got Sesan. Well, listen, this is 2 days in a row now. I had you up here for the player of the game. Now you got the MVP trophy. And I look at some of these numbers here. 35 points, 5 rebounds, 6 out of 6 at the free throw line, 5 assists, 1 steal, no turnovers. That is a pretty good play. No wonder the MVP.
Again, really positive day for all of us. I felt like we all contributed. Makai and Mate again played great definitely helping us out on defense and on the defensive boards. One player I want to shout out is Nako. Nako again has been up and down mentally. I like the way he came on in the second half and was able to push and keep going regardless of the circumstances. I really like what he came out and did for us in the second half.
Yeah, he hit like 2 points in the first half. He gets like 10 in the second half. He gets 12 points and got his average back up. And, he looked pretty good out there. And when he goes to the basket, pretty much unstoppable, so quick and good around the basket.
Absolutely.
And, you shot 9 out of 11. I figured that's about somewhere around 55% from the threes. And our threes, and I told a couple of people already, and I've said it on air a couple of times, if our threes start getting like we can normally play, this team's going to be very hard to beat. And right now, our outside shooting has come around the last couple of games.
Absolutely. The main changes for us, I feel like we're just starting to believe more. Again, we're trusting our work and what we do every day. Again, to start the year, those percentages have not been a true reflection of our shooting ability. And day by day, we keep working, we keep shooting, and they will fall for us, and we'll get back to the team that we should be.
Yeah, I talked to one of the opposing coaches, and he said, I know your team pretty well, and I know that you've not been shooting it well, and I know that you will start shooting it well, and then when that happens, it's going to be a very good basketball team. And he was right on line, and that was the coach from South Carolina, that got beat today. But, he brought a club in here 4-2, and he had 2 players that went home for Thanksgiving, didn't come back for Thanksgiving. He's got a 6'9", a 6'10" kid starting in January, so he feels pretty good about himself. But they had a rough tournament. But, he saw in our team what you guys performed this time. He said when they start shooting, this team's going to be hard to beat, and he's exactly right. Now, we got Florida Southern coming in here on Wednesday, and we'll try to get our second conference win, and then we'll go over to Rollins and get another one and be just off and running.
Okay, yeah.
All right, talking to Sesan, you want to say anything to anybody back overseas?
I'd really like to say thank you to my dad. I mean, he's been really pivotal in terms of my confidence these past couple of weeks, really trying to make me trust what I do and really believe in myself. Again, I struggle believing in what I do, and he's always there to support me. He never doubts me. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Thank you for stopping by. And there's that MVP trophy. And we'll be seeing you up here again Wednesday.
Well, thank you.
Yep. Thank you. So we'll get Billy Mims in here, coming in here and talk to him about some of the, we know how good he's did. There's Noble again, 18 points and 12 rebounds, 7 out of 9 shooting. From the field, and really these game numbers, 55% from the floor, almost 46% from the threes, and about 65% from the free throw line, but very good numbers.
Hey, Sesh, take this down real quick. Sorry, Jim.
Yep.
And I'll come right back to you. Sesh, take this down. Let the guys, anybody that wants to have a photo with that down there, be great. All right? Daniel just
I think
handed me
this
one.
is a better stat.
That's
here.
yours. I just got this. Daniel
okay,
just,
good.
All right, sorry, Jim. I apologize.
Yeah.
Wanted Sesan to share that with his teammates down there because the championship was definitely a team championship. It was not an individual championship. I mean, Sesh was unbelievable this week. No, actually, let's put that back. Sesan Russell this weekend was Sesan Russell.
Was his normal self.
That's the Sesan Russell that's an All-American candidate. That's the Sesan Russell that is a first-team All-SSC player. That's the Sesan Russell that we know and love. I mean, I was so proud of him because he has not been playing in all aspects of the game. He's been doing great things. But Sesh is the kind of guy that can do everything well. And this weekend, he was back to the old guy that does everything well. So was really, really pleased for Sesan. But as saying that, aside from that, this was a team event. I mean, we played everybody in uniform yesterday. We played everybody in uniform today. We had 4 games in 5 days, and we got everybody on court in every single game. So ultimately, I thought this was a great week for our program. It was a great week for our team. You know, we're now 4-0 on this floor. Or is it no 5-0? 5-0 on this floor. Sorry, we've won 5 straight games on our home floor, 6 straight games overall. So we're starting to click in a lot of areas. But Mekhi Noble, I think he's had a double-double in every game this season, and he had one at St. Leo in the playoffs last year in the last game of the year. So I believe Mekhi Noble now. I think tonight this might have been his 8th straight. 7 games this year, 1 last year, his 8th straight double-double, but 18 points, 12 rebounds. And look at his numbers, 7 of 9 from the floor, 2 offensive boards, 10 defensive boards. He had 1 steal, 2 block shots across the board, and he made 4 free throws tonight. So he knocked down some free throws. He's still got to work on his confidence at the line, but that's a process. It's an ongoing process, and I know he's concerned about it. He's working on it. He's trying. So we know he's going to get there. But you mentioned a moment ago, and I wanted to harp on. We shot 55% tonight from the floor, 53% in the first half, and almost 58% in the second half. So a little over 55% from the floor. But the biggest stat that jumps out at me is we've been struggling from behind the arc, and we've got some really good shooters. And tonight we go 16 of 35 behind the arc for 46% from three-point shooting. And if you look at it, Sean Halp, started off the game with a couple of big threes right off the bat, and he finished 3 of 7 behind the arc, 11 points for Sean. I thought he had a good ball game tonight. Nako Ziegler knocked down one late there and got a nice one that gave him a double-figure night with 12 points, but big 3 for him. Sesan was 9 of 11. You realize, Jim, he was only 3 threes away from the school record. Simon Cummings here one night was on ESPN SportsCenter's top 10 plays of the day. He made 10 threes in a row, and he was 12 for 15 that night behind the arc. Well, Sesan tonight shot a better percentage. He was 9 of 11 behind the arc. And again, Sesan only played 25 minutes of the game tonight. So had he played 35 minutes tonight, I think Sesan probably would have broken the record because he was 10 for 15 overall, 9 of 11 behind the arc, 6 for 6 at the free throw line, 5 boards, 5 assists, no turnovers, 2 steals. You can't have a better night than that.
Yeah, I got that wrong a while ago. I said he shot like 55%. He shot like 80-some-odd%.
Oh, God, yeah. And then after that, you go down. Josh Mims hit another 3 late in the game. Sam Grant had a 3 earlier in the game. Elias Martin hit a 3 late in the game. So we had tonight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different players make a 3, and we make 16 as a team and shoot 46% behind the arc. Our best perimeter shooting night of the year. And, we know sooner or later the shots are going to start to fall because we have a lot of good shooters on this team. So tonight was an example of what we're capable of doing when those shots start falling.
And Crockett didn't take a 3 tonight, but he had 4 out of 5 from the field and had 8 points. That's pretty good.
Jacob had 8 points. He had 3 assists, no turnovers, and 1 steal. I thought Jacob had good minutes out there tonight, played really well.
Yeah, and this is 110 points. It's we haven't scored that in a long time.
Well, like I said, we've got a deep team this year. There's a lot of guys that contribute. Our bench tonight scored 31 points. So, we scored 110 as a team, but our bench came in and actually contributed 31 points. That helps you get like that. And, we out-rebounded them tonight, but we didn't rebound great. Mekhi had 12. Mate had 7. Sesan had 5. Nako had 3. And then we had some 1s and 2s. But we weren't dominant on the boards like we've been recently. I mean, on the season right now, coming into tonight, we were averaging almost like 12 rebounds a game more than our opponents, something like that. We're the number 1 rebound. We're averaging almost 50 rebounds a game.
I got it down as 50 rebounds a game.
There you go. So tonight we had 40 rebounds. But part of that, Jim, is, we only had 7 offensive rebounds tonight, but we made 55% of her
Yeah.
shots. So when you're making more shots, there's less rebounding opportunities out there.
Yep, and I looked at pretty much the intangibles. They got you in a couple of categories, but in the turnovers, you picked up 8 points on them there. In the paint, you picked up another 8 points on them there. Fast breaks, you picked up another 8 points on them there. Their bench, of course, we can't do much with Gonzalez. He had 25 points. He had 7 rebounds. I mean,
he's a tremendous player. I mean,
Yeah.
Brian Gonzalez made the all-tournament team and deserved it. He had, in yesterday's game against Young Harris, he had 23 points in the first half and finished with 32 against Young Harris. And then in tonight's game against us, he comes back and drops 25 tonight. So, the first game against us, he had 19. I'm not sure what he had against Rollins, but I know he was their leading scorer. And then last night he had 23 in the first half, finished with 32, comes back, finishes the tour tonight with 25 points, 7 rebounds. And he was 9 for 13 from the floor and 3 for 6 behind the arc, 4 of 5 at the line. Brian Gonzalez is a very good basketball player, junior down at University of Puerto Rico-Bayamon. And I know Carlos Calcano, their head coach, who couldn't make the trip this week because of other basketball commitments in a championship series down there that he led his team and won. But I know Carlos Calcano is going to be very pleased with this team, their performance on this trip. And again, thanks to Jerry Batista, the athletic director, for going to bat for these kids and making this trip possible after COVID canceled it all last year, giving these kids a chance to come to Florida this week and to play 4 games to prepare for their season. Jerry Batista is an outstanding athletic director. Hats off to Jerry. He's a longtime friend of John Reynolds and myself, and he's also an assistant coach on the Puerto Rican women's national basketball program. He was in China this summer for the Olympics with the Puerto Rican women's team. So, Jerry, if you're watching, Hector did a great job sitting in for Carlos Calcano as your head coach on this trip. Your kids did a great job, and we want to wish them all the best of luck for the remainder of the year down in Puerto Rico.
Okay, Billy, just wrap it up here. This is, you got Wednesday night, Florida Southern's coming to town. You're kind of riding high right here. They'll be a different kind of animal to play against, and they're talented. But right now, like I talked to the coach, one of the opposing coaches a while back, and he said, when the Panthers get to hitting those outside shots and getting this thing all rounded up, they're going to be very hard to beat. And I believe we're at that point right now.
Well, this team has a lot of pieces to the puzzle right now, We've got, a lot. We start 3 really good veteran guards, Sesan, Nako, and Sean. And they all score in different ways. They can score, but they score in different ways. So they complement each other really well. And I think Makai Noble and Mate Pape are playing really well together inside for us right now. And again, they complement each other really well. And then I've said it multiple times that this is the deepest team I think I've ever had here. We dress out, we dressed out 15 tonight because Niall was injured and he didn't dress. But, normally we dress out 16 players, and all 16 are capable of stepping on the court and doing something good to help this basketball team. So, we have depth, we have talent, and right now we have some pretty good chemistry, guys that complement each other real well. And we've bought into that, the team mentality that it's one team, one goal, and night in and night out we're going to try to play together. We're going to try to play smart. We're going to try to play hard and do whatever it takes to try and find a way to win. So I think this team's going to be competitive night in and night out. And if we make shots, we got a chance to be very, very good. So
we'll when you need to, put some muscle in there, you can do that. When you want some ball handlers, you can go to the bench and get that. When you want some free throw shooters in, you can go get that. So,
although we had some free throw shooters tonight that should have made free throws that didn't.
Josh missed 2 technicals down there.
And again, I hope people don't sit out there and say, "Oh, well, he put him in to shoot the free throws because he's his son." No, I had him go to the free throw line because he's the leading free throw shooter on the team right now, percentage-wise. So he and Sesan are probably 2 of our best free throw shooters, and Sean Halp's also another great free throw shooter. But Sesh and Sean weren't in the game. So I looked at the court and I said, okay, well, percentages, who's got the best percentage out there? And it was Josh. And I said, go knock these 2 down. And I know he's going to be beating himself up all night long and probably all week long because, throughout high school, both at Melbourne High School and Melbourne Central Catholic, where he finished up, he was probably the team's leading free throw shooter. So he takes a lot of pride in being very good at the free throw line. Kind of shocked me when he missed the first, but it shocked me even more when he missed the second. But, again, he's still one of our best free throw shooters. And, there's going to be nights where we know it's a close game, like Jim. You saw over in Orlando the first weekend of the season when we were battling Benedict. We were playing offense, defense, subs late in the game. And what I try to do is have our 5 best free throw shooters on the floor. So, even though he missed 2 free throws tonight, we still know he's one of the best free throw shooters. And I can tell you, when it's a tight game late in the ball game, we're going to put the guys out there that have proven they can make free throws. And we'll have the 5 best free throw shooters we've got on the floor in the hopes that we'll get fouled and we'll make free throws and we can win close games.
61 points in the first half, 49 in the second half, total of 110 points, and win it by, 36?
Well, we won both halves, and I did challenge the guys at halftime because when you get up big like that, we were up 29 points at that. We had basically doubled them in the first half. And I thought, a lot of times I tell guys, games are won in the first half. They can be won. You can get a team so far down that all you have to do is trade baskets with them in the second half. And the good thing is that we had stuck the dagger in the first half. So in the second half, we could get a lot of minutes for a lot of guys. And that every moment that someone on our bench gets in a game situation, Jim, is a valuable situation for us because you never know when someone's going to be sick, when someone's going to be hurt, when someone's in foul. And you've got to turn down to your bench. I want to say this because I just came up top of my head. Look at the minutes that Elias Martin had tonight.
Yeah.
He came off the bench and in 7.5 minutes scored 7 points. But, he hardly made a mistake out there. I think he had 1 turnover, but he was 3 for 3 from the floor, 2 big buckets inside. He knocked down a 3, 1 for 1 behind the arc, had an offensive rebound, a defensive rebound, and I think he had a block shot as well.
Yeah.
But 7 points in 7.5 minutes, quality minutes for Elias Martin. And, it can be anybody on our bench on any night that can step in and make those kind of plays. So, hats off to Elias, to a lot of other guys on our bench. And, from one night, and Jacob Crockett, like you said earlier, 4 or 5 tonight. But on any given occasion, there's 7 or 8 guys on the bench that could step in and make big plays for this team. And so being able all this week to get some valuable minutes court time for our entire team was probably the biggest blessing of this week. And obviously, again, I'd like to finish by saying thanks to Erdman Automotive and to Mike Erdman for sponsoring this tournament. Again, tremendous supporter of Florida Tech. He's done a lot of great things for us in the past. I know he will continue to do so in the future. And, Mike, it's great to have Erdman Automotive as part of our Florida Tech athletic family here at Florida Tech.
And we had Sam Lytle in there, and we had Al's Trophy Shop, and one other. What was that other one?
Jacobus Fielding.
Yeah, we don't want to make a mistake on that.
Brian Lytle has been great in game sponsorship for us at the start of this season. Tremendous support of our program. Brian Lytle and Team LBR, Lytle, Beckner, Robeson, who are an incredible corporate real estate team. And then we also, as you said, great law firm, injury attorneys, Jacobus Fielding, Bruce Jacobus and John Fielding stepped up and helped us on our Day of Giving and have sponsored a lot of our post-game shows so far and our Player of the Game plaques. So we've had great support, Jim, and that's something that Florida Tech's always had. The community here has always been good sponsoring us and being behind our programs. And like I said again, thank you to all of those and to those who are going to be sponsoring us from here on out the rest of the season.
Panthers win this in 110-74. And, Billy, we're going to say good night and see you here Wednesday.
And, Jim, I'll say thank you for the great job you did this week. You called 4 days of basketball here, 2 solo night games for us, and 4 games in the Thanksgiving tournament. You've been doing it now for about 40 years as the voice of the Panthers. Nobody does it better. So, Jim, I'd like to say to your wife, who's probably watching in Charlotte, North Carolina, thanks for sharing this guy here with the Panthers for so long. Sooner or later, we're going to get him to retire and join you up there. But for the time being, thanks for sharing him with the Florida Tech Panthers. Happy Thanksgiving, Jim, to you, to your wife in Charlotte and all your family watching wherever they are.
All right, Panthers go what, 6-1 or
6-1?
Ready for Florida Southern on Wednesday night. We'll see you back here at 5:30 for the women's game and 7:30 for the men.